How's it going, guys? I've been playing the Arkham trilogy again. I like going through nostalgia, especially when I get to remind myself when I was younger, playing the first Arkham game, Arkham Asylum, on my PS3, and whew, it started turning into pain when I looked at the recent gameplay reviews of Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. For people that don't know, Kill the Justice League is coming out at the end of this month, and it's not looking good, to be honest. And I'm not talking about the IGN video. We all know IGN isn't very good when it comes to game takes. They're right, the game doesn't look good, but when they talk about it, they get pretty bland when they try to explain it. I gotta be honest, they talk about the wrong shit. They need to talk about the right stuff. So I'm just gonna do the quick rundown on why I don't really feel any enjoyment looking at this game. So, for one, I don't know why anyone thought it was a good idea to base a game off of the Suicide Squad in this format after the Marvel Avengers game. So I don't know who thought that was a good idea whatsoever. And let's go to the most important part. What is this game for? This is part of the Arkham universe. This is confirmed by the creators of this game, by the way. This is the Arkham universe. We have Arkham Batman. This is Arkham Superman, Arkham Wonder Woman, The Flash. And they thought, you know what? And I'm not blaming Rocksteady for this. I'm pretty sure this has a lot to do with War Brothers. They thought, you know what? Let's make the last edition of the most legendary voices of Batman of all time, ever since the animated series. Let's make this game a live service looter, looter shooter. I already had a long discussion about why does the entire cast of this game have just guns, Like, seriously, they just chose the people that only use guns. And I'll give Marvel this. I'll give Marvel's Avengers this. They didn't all use guns, right? They didn't all use guns. But the gameplay was worse, I will say. The movement in Suicide Squad looks nice, but the rest of it is like, what the fuck? Now, when you look at this screenshot and you look at all this shit coming up on screen, how does this remind you of the Arkham Batman games? It doesn't. When in Batman do you have all these icons, these indicators, all these numbers showing up when you're shooting your guns? Like, I don't really see the appeal of this. Looking at this is like looking at like the current Call of Duty Zombies genre right now. Like, it's all just arcade theme, you know? And honestly, it just puts me off of the game altogether. And the fact that this is going to have a battle pass, in-game currency, microtransactions, may I remind you, and they think that it is going to be worth paying money for this. Holy shit. Like, the only time I'm gonna ever see myself trying this game is if it becomes free to play, godforsaken, or it comes out on Game Pass, which is more likely because I think this game is going to try and get more money off of microtransactions than actual game sales by the looks of it. So yeah, I have honestly no idea what kind of direction Rocksteady was put upon of this. Like, I really don't understand this. Now, I'm not being mean. I'm not biased. I have my ups and downs with each Batman game, you know? Like, Arkham Asylum was good, but I swear to God, you know, the boss fights could have been better, like, the map could have been bigger. The whole thing was just in the asylum, so it makes sense, but the Joker fight at the end, no, I'm not all about that shit. Then you got Batman Arkham City, which is a very much stronger contender, where you know you had all these decent boss fights, you had great map designing since it's Arkham City, great storytelling. Then you got Arkham Knight, which I thought way much more beautiful game, way much more beautiful. Combat system absolutely amplified to its maximum. Multiple characters that you can play as that isn't behind, you know, DLC, which I am grateful for. And then when you do get DLC, it expands story, but also gives you more stuff to do. It is worth it. But then again, the biggest downs that I've had about Arkham Knight is actually the Batmobile, which is most of the boss fights in the game, as well as having to use it to do Riddler trophies. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Riddler trophies is a grind as enough, but I don't really want to use the fucking Batmobile for half of them. You know? Like, I get it. It is a new device that was added in the game, but it doesn't need to be the main device, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm still glad for how it went. But then again, you know, I'm a big sucker for Arkham Origins, which doesn't get any attention, despite the fact that it is one of my near and dear favourites, because A, the story is absolutely perfect when it comes to, like, personal storytelling of Batman. You know, I like Arkham Knight. The Origins is not about Batman, it's about Bruce Wayne. This is when Bruce Wayne has only been Batman for maybe a year or so, and Alfred still isn't convinced that Batman is good for Bruce. You know, you still get this young, unexperienced Batman that goes through all these different emotions. Hell, you don't get that in the other games. You know, you're already a senior Batman. You already know what you're doing. I like when a character has weaknesses off the bat, and obviously in Arkham Origins, Batman's biggest weakness was arrogance. Now, do I think Suicide Squad is going to be a flop? Well, if they keep showing the game like this, I don't think people are going to be appealed to it. They already have enough fucking accounts on Twitter and YouTube trying to hype this game up, where whenever they're explaining this game, they're explaining Borderlands to me. I heard them talking about a grenade called, like, the Kaboom fucking legendary shit, where you can only use it once per game, but it does, like, millions of damage. It's overpowered. That sounds like a fucking Borderlands mod for your grenade. Like, what is that shit? I'm not trying to be very, like, very harsh against this game, but when this game is supposed to be appealing towards the people that grew up with the Arkham games, when does the Arkham games tell you live service, strictly multiplayer Suicide Squad loot and shooter, you know? And a Suicide Squad isn't a bad idea. But why the fuck does it have to be every other sodding live service game that we've had? Haven't we learnt from, you know, fucking, again, Marvel Avengers, Destiny 2, which is an even worse situation since it did start off as a good game, you know? Like, seriously, I think the only live service game that I actually had a lot of enjoyment with was early stages of Destiny 2 and Warframe, which I thought had great, like, great design, great gameplay altogether. But the one thing that is going to carry Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is just the IPs altogether. So I might do another video on this when they actually release the full game. God forbid me on playing this game, you know. I want to keep my Arkham childhood close to my heart as it is. But maybe I'll get more in deep on why I think it's big of a problem, going from character design, character progression, you know, the transition between Arkham Knight to this. But we will see. Thank you for listening. I'll be sure to come back with another video, maybe to do with situations that are way more interesting. But thanks for your time. See ya. This is Ghostwave.